You likely monitor app performance, but what do you do to assure app performance? And when users report their app is slow, what do you do? Hi, I'm Dan Keene from IBM Cloud. In this video, I'll explain why platforms for application resource management, or ARM, and application performance monitoring, or APM, can work together to solve some particularly knotty performance problems for your business applications. So how do you assure app performance? In principle, it's simple. You need to make sure the applications have the resources they need when they need them. This is where the goals of APM and ARM systems intersect. You can get steady, predictable performance by combining the application-level understanding of an APM with the infrastructure know-how of an ARM. To explain how ARM and APM systems work, I'll walk through two scenarios. The first I call It's the Node. Instead of relying on educated guesses, I'll show how an ARM system can use infrastructure and application metrics to optimize cloud resources for performance. The second I call It's the Code. As a developer, I know that better runtime diagnostics will make my job easier. I'll show an APM system can help debug tricky problems, whether it's in a dev or production environment. Let's get to it. I refer to this first scenario as the It's the Node view of performance because today's modern business applications run in containers, which are hosted by virtual machines that are on-premise or in the public cloud. But that's the infrastructure's view of the world. Your customers think in terms of what the application does, not how it executes. Once deployed to selected environments, Turbonomic Application Resource Management for IBM Cloud Paks uses the data from standard APM APIs to discover both application and cloud entities. It then builds this end-to-end supply chain view from top-level business application down to the supporting infrastructure. These diagram relationships act as a single source of truth for application performance in your hybrid environment. In this case, Turbonomic is pulling in analytics data from IBM Observability by Instana APM. But it can also work with APM tools like AppDynamics, Dynatrace, and New Relic. No agents are required to be installed. With the help of this data, it recognizes their associated transactions, services, and application components, as well as the infrastructure components like containers, pods, and nodes. Okay, let's return to my opening question. When a user reports their application is slow, what happens next? I'll bet that whether it's a war room or a group chat, your approach boils down to creating a whodunit list of suspected services and infrastructure components. How do we change this blame game? By automating resource allocation decisions based on data like application transactions and application CPU or application heap, not just large-grain metrics like container RAM usage. That's the secret sauce of ARM-APM combo. It can avoid the mistake of incorrectly estimating resource requirements that lead to performance problems. The Turbonomic proposed actions shown here are fundamental ARM decisions, independent of the underlying technology. Yikes, that's a lot of actions. There's actions for decreasing node memory, reallocating VM resources, and tweaking the permitted IOPS. But don't worry, lots of actions are a good thing. Sure, until you trust the recommendations, you'll go through them manually, but long-term, you'll let the system handle them automatically. In other words, the performance objective is decision automation for resource management, not just process automation. These actions can help you reduce your IT spend, and since the actions are based on usage data, you'll get more recommendations over time. You begin by reviewing the actions you should take. This view provides context, like whether it's a non-disruptive action, such as increasing memory, or potentially disruptive, like reducing the resources of a VM. Once you've validated enough proposed actions and you are confident the recommendations are trustworthy, you can move to the next stage, decision automation. That's the end game, eliminating resource problems as a source of application delay, so your users don't need to call you about performance problems in the first place. Okay, in the prior scenario, Turbonomic plus Instana helped intelligently manage resources based on actual runtime metrics. It took advantage of microservice metrics captured by Instana like load, latency, error rate, and saturation. That can lead to better performance and reduced IT costs. As a bonus, you can escape the resource management blame game. But for diagnosing actual performance problems at the code level, Instana's always-on tracing can really save debug time. Let's take a quick look at the It's the Code scenario. Based on a chat message from Cloud Pak for Watson AIOps, you can proactively investigate and resolve brewing issues before they impact users. Combined with the deep dive performance monitoring tools from Instana, you can confirm the details that led to an incident report. In this case, a sudden increase in the errors returned by the discount service. The event that triggered the incident shows that the error rate spiked suddenly. This unexpected behavior is automatically detected by Instana without the need to manually set and maintain thresholds. As shown in the related events, the abnormal termination of the MySQL process was the root cause. Once the database was brought back online, the discount service returned to normal operation. Let's review the trace logs that pointed to the cause. Here we see that the failing calls to the discount service took about 2 seconds, suggesting a timeout situation. We can confirm this in the trace detail. It shows how the error in the timeline, indicated by the red triangle, propagated up the call stack, ultimately returning a server 500 error. If needed, the ops team and dev team have access to more low-level detail, such as the call stack, application component stack, log details, even previews of the underlying source code. Now you see as a developer why I'm excited about how Instana helps diagnose and resolve difficult code problems, even in a production environment. Okay, let's summarize. By integrating APM and ARM, the ARM system can automate decisions informed by application metrics as well as infrastructure awareness. That's how the combination of Turbonomic and Instana helps you take full advantage of the performance elasticity of cloud platforms without over-provisioning. What could this mean to your company? ARM automation can address performance problems before they occur and reduce IT spend. This means more time and money to put towards expanding your business rather than reacting to alerts and trouble tickets. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please click like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about Turbonomic Application Resource Management for IBM Cloud Paks and IBM Observability by Instana APM, please make sure to check out the links in the description.